99% of men don't do this. Women love it. Sounds a bit much, maybe. But let me ask you this. How many times have you seen a guy who seems to have everything, yet still struggles to build deep, real connections with women? It's not about looks, money, or confidence. The truth is, most men miss out on small but powerful actions that can make them truly attractive. And today, I'm going to share 7 hidden secrets that women quietly want but don't often say out loud. These aren't the usual dating tips you've heard many times. These are small psychological cues backed by science and old Stoic wisdom that can change how women see you, making you stand out without trying too hard. Think about this. What if you could connect with the hidden desires women don't even fully understand themselves? What if you could naturally stand apart from 99% of men? Not by chasing, not by proving anything, but by learning what truly makes a woman feel noticed, wanted, and emotionally close. And here's the truth. If you don't know these secrets, you're missing out. You could be losing the chance to build a kind of connection that keeps her thinking about you long after you're gone. That's why it's important you watch until the end of this video. The last secret is the strongest one, and once you get it, you'll never think about attraction the same way again. Before we begin, do me a quick favor. If you're serious about learning these powerful tools, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the insights coming your way. Let's begin. Secret 1. The power of touch before intimacy. Picture this. You're on a date. The chat is going well. She's laughing, and things seem smooth, but something still feels off. You can tell the spark isn't fully there. She's interested, but not fully drawn in. You drop her off, send a text later and nothing, no reply. What went wrong? Most guys focus only on talking when trying to build attraction. They think a good chat is all it takes. But for women, connection isn't just through words, it's also through feelings and closeness. And there's one often missed way to build that touch, not in a pushy or awkward way, but in a calm, thoughtful, and real way. One simple thing women quietly enjoy is a soft, caring massage before getting physical. Sounds basic, right? But here's why it matters. For women, feeling close emotionally is just as important, maybe more than being attracted physically. A caring, non-sexual touch can say more than any words. It shows, I see you. I care. I want you to feel calm and safe with me. It's not about being a pro at massage or trying to impress her. It's about being present, truly in the moment, helping her feel understood and wanted. Not just on the outside, but inside, too. The trick? It's not only the touch, it's the reason behind it. If you're just going through the steps, it won't work. But if you're really there, paying attention to how she feels, she'll notice. Marcus Aurelius, a famous Stoic thinker, said, "Be one. Don't overthink. Don't make it weird. Just be in the moment, and let your actions talk for you." Here's the hard truth. Most guys never take time to learn this. That's why they stay. In the 99% who struggle with emotional closeness, but the men who get it, they build deep, lasting bonds women don't forget. In a world where most guys chase quick wins and shallow moments, this kind of care stands out. And once you learn it, you become part of the 1%, the men who truly get what women want deep down. Secret 2. Flirting with confidence and respect. A lot of men don't understand flirting. They either try too hard and come off as needy, or they hold back too much, scared of messing up. The truth is, women enjoy flirting, but only when it's done with quiet confidence and real respect. A man who can flirt smoothly stands out because he creates a fun feeling without pressure. Flirting isn't about fake jokes or over-the-top praise. It's about keeping things light, fun, and interesting. Think of it like a dance. You lead. She follows, but it should feel natural, not forced, for either of you. The best way to do this is through teasing in a fun, lighthearted way. For example, if she says she loves a certain type of food, you could respond with, "Really, that's the best you've got. Clearly, you've never had my cooking." It's a subtle challenge that keeps the conversation interesting while creating a sense of playful competition. More importantly, good flirting isn't about seeking approval. The moment you try too hard to impress, you lose your edge. Women are naturally drawn to men who are comfortable in their own skin, who can joke around without needing validation. This is where Stoic philosophy comes into play. A high-value man doesn't flirt to win a woman over. He flirts because he enjoys the interaction itself. He remains emotionally grounded, never desperate for her response. Beyond words, eye contact and body language are key. A confident gaze, a smirk, a slow nod, or a well-timed pause speaks louder than any pickup line. Attraction isn't built through words alone. It's built through presence, energy, and confidence. When you flirt with the right mindset, women feel it instantly. So, are you flirting to impress, or are you flirting because you enjoy the moment? Master this, and you'll see how attraction shifts in your favor. Number 3. The power of touching her hair. Most men completely overlook this, but women love it when a man knows how to touch their hair. When done at the right moment, it's one of those small, seemingly insignificant gestures that can create an instant emotional connection. But if done wrong, it can feel awkward, forced, or even intrusive. The key lies in understanding why this works. The scalp is one of the most sensitive areas of the body, filled with nerve endings that trigger deep emotional responses. A well-placed, gentle touch on her hair can send subtle, yet powerful signals of intimacy, trust, and attraction. It's not just about the physical sensation. It's about the unspoken message. It can be, "I see you. I'm present with you, and I'm attuned to your energy." But here's where most men go wrong. They either rush it or do it mechanically without any real connection. Behind the gesture, touching her hair isn't about playing with it absent-mindedly. It's about creating a moment of closeness. Picture this. You're sitting with her, engaged in conversation. And at just the right moment, you gently brush a strand of hair away from her face. That single action, done with intention and confidence, can say more than words ever could. Timing is everything. This isn't something you do on a first encounter or before you've built any emotional connection. It works best when she already feels comfortable with you, when there's chemistry and warmth in the air. If she leans in slightly, if she smiles in a way that invites closeness, that's when you know the moment is right. The worst thing you can do is force it when she isn't ready, which is why presence and awareness are crucial. From a Stoic perspective, this ties back to emotional intelligence and restraint. Stoicism teaches us to read situations without acting on impulse, to remain in control rather than being controlled by desire. This means not reaching out just because you want to, but rather because it's the right moment to create a connection. So the next time you're with a woman and the moment feels right, don't underestimate the power of a simple touch on her hair. When done with confidence and intention, it's one of those rare, subtle gestures that make a lasting impact. Number 4. The hand on her back in public. This might seem like a small, insignificant gesture, but in reality, it speaks volumes. Simple. confident touch on a woman's lower back as you guide her through a crowd or while walking together communicates something profoundly attractive: leadership, confidence, and protection. And yet, 99% of men either overlook it or hesitate, unsure whether they should do it at all. Women don't need grand displays of masculinity to feel secure. They need subtle, instinctual signals that a man is grounded, present, and capable of leading. When you place your hand on her back in a calm, self-assured way, you send the message that you are in control of yourself and the situation without having to say a single word. It's not about dominance or control, but rather about showing her, through action, that you're there, you're aware, and you're leading with quiet confidence. But here's where most men go wrong. They either hesitate too much, making the moment feel awkward, or they do it in a way that feels forced and unnatural. This isn't about possessiveness, nor is it about seeking validation. It's about presence. When done correctly, the touch is light but deliberate, brief but intentional. Just enough for her to feel it and register your presence in a way that feels effortless and natural. Picture this. You're walking side by side, heading toward the entrance of a restaurant. As you step ahead to open the door for her, your hand briefly rests on her lower back, just enough to guide her forward without breaking stride. It's a moment of quiet leadership, a gesture that subconsciously reassures her that she's with a man who moves with confidence and intent. From a Stoic perspective, this ties directly into self-mastery and emotional presence. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." A man doesn't seek approval for his actions. He simply embodies strength, awareness, and quiet control. When you place your hand on her back, you aren't seeking a reaction. You're simply being a man of presence and leadership, and that alone is magnetic. In a world where many men are either too timid or too overbearing, mastering this simple yet powerful move sets you apart as someone who understands the subtle balance of strength and care. Fifth secret: be her hero, the protector. Let's pause the noise for a second and get real about something. Every man feels, but few ever own out loud, the deep urge to protect, to lead, to be someone she can lean on when the world starts spinning. Not because she's weak, not because you want to control her, but because it's hardwired into your masculine core to shield, not smother, to stand, not chase. And here's what most men miss: women crave that. Not a bodyguard, not a dictator, but a man who carries the kind of presence that says, without words, "You're safe with me." And here's the twist. You don't earn that role through muscles or money. You earn it through emotional strength. See, most guys think being her hero means stepping in with a solution, solving problems, telling her what to do, fixing her bad day like it's a broken pipe. But the truth, that's not what she wants. What she really wants is a man who can stand still while she unravels. A man who doesn't flinch when she's emotional, who doesn't try to shut it down, minimize it, or make it about himself. She wants to know that you can hold her chaos without losing your clarity. Because when a woman is overwhelmed, mentally, emotionally, hormonally, she's not looking for someone to fix her. She's looking for someone who won't be moved by the storm. Someone who doesn't try to escape. Someone who doesn't react. Someone who stays but stays grounded. That's what makes you her protector. It's not loud. It's not flashy. It's not romantic in the movie sense. It's steady, quiet, unshakable. And the more she feels that from you, the more she can relax into her femininity, because now she's not the one carrying everything. She's not the one leading the emotional charge. She gets to let go because she knows you've got her even when she's not easy to love. No, let's get specific. Being her protector means letting her feel without rushing to fix. Listening with your eyes, not just your ears. Keeping your composure when she's testing limits, not to punish, but to prove that her storm won't break your frame. Stepping up in stressful moments without over-explaining, your calm becomes the signal. Here's the key. You become her protector before she needs you to be. That means you don't just respond to drama. You prevent it with your energy. You set the emotional tone in the room. You walk with purpose. You speak with intention. And you don't need to say, "I've got you," because the way you carry yourself already says it. But let me be clear. This isn't about being her emotional punching bag. Being a protector doesn't mean tolerating disrespect, instability, or manipulation. It means you protect your peace first. Because a man who can't protect his own emotional state will never truly protect hers. This is why Stoic philosophy is so powerful in love. Seneca said, "No man was ever wise by chance. You don't stumble into this role, you choose it. You build it, you embody it. Not to impress her. Not to prove something, but because it's who you are, who you've become, who you must be to lead. Not chase, to protect, not prove." And here's the beautiful irony. When you step fully into that energy, she starts looking at you differently. She softens. She opens. She trusts, not because you saved her, but because you showed her that she never had to save you. So, if you're done trying to earn affection with overgiving, if you're tired of being the emotional sponge just to keep her close, if you're finally ready to lead with grounded masculinity type, this below I protect with presence, because the man she craves, the one she respects, deep in her nervous system, isn't the loudest. He's the one who doesn't budge when it counts. The one who listens without fixing, holds space without fear, and leads without losing himself. That's the man she trusts. That's the man she gives herself to. That's the protector, not of her body, but of her safety in your presence. Sixth secret. The charm of a beard. Alright, let's talk about something that seems purely physical at first glance, but actually taps into something much deeper. The beard, to some, it's just facial hair. To others, it's a statement, but to her, if you carry it right, it can trigger an attraction that feels almost instinctual. Now, I'm not saying every woman loves beards. Some prefer clean-shaven, some like scruffs, some love a full-on lumberjack look. But regardless of personal taste, there's a reason. Beards have always symbolized something primal, something masculine, something quietly powerful. And women feel, even if they can't always explain it, because the beard doesn't just change how you look, it changes how you're perceived. And perception is everything in attraction. See, a well-kept beard signals maturity. It suggests experience. It carries an edge. It tells her silently, this man is past the boyish face. He's not trying to impress. He just is. And that just is energy. That's stoic. That's masculine. That's the kind of presence that speaks louder than anything you say. Let's go a layer deeper. Psychologically, facial hair represents dominance and depth. Not the loud kind of dominance, the quiet kind. The kind that walks into a room and doesn't need to announce itself. It speaks through stillness, through presence, through detail. And when a woman sees a man with that presence, especially if he carries a beard with confidence and care, it hits something ancestral in her. She sees safety, but also strength. She senses a man who can both protect and provoke. Someone not easily swayed by opinion. Someone who lives on his own terms. But let's be clear, this isn't about growing a beard for the sake of it. A beard, when done right, is not just a look. It's a mirror of your discipline. It says, I take care of myself. I pay attention to detail. I invest in my presence. Because a wild, unkempt beard doesn't say power, it says carelessness. But a clean, intentional beard, it says, I know who I am, and I'm not afraid to own it. Now, here's the subtle part no one talks about. When a woman runs her fingers along your jaw through your beard, she's not just enjoying texture. She's feeling something deeper. It's contact, but it's also contrast. Your ruggedness against her softness, her smooth skin brushing against your edge. It's a sensory experience, and it speaks volume. That's the part most men miss. A beard doesn't just change your appearance. It creates polarity. And polarity is what drives chemistry. Not similarity, not comfort, but difference. Masculine and feminine, stillness and movement, strength and surrender. The beard, when paired with the right energy, becomes a tool to amplify that polarity, to make her feel more feminine just by standing near you. But again, it's not about the beard itself. It's about the man behind it. Because if your energy is weak, if your boundaries are loose, if you chase, explain over give, no amount of facial hair will change how she feels. But if you carry yourself like a man, silent when necessary, selective with attention, grounded in purpose, then the beard becomes more than appearance. It becomes a symbol of the man you've become. And that is where the charm lies. Let's bring it back to the Stoics. Epictetus said, know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. You don't grow a beard to cover up insecurity. You grow it as an extension of identity. It doesn't make you strong. It reflects the strength you already have. So whether you keep a clean shave or let it grow, do it with purpose. Don't follow trends. Don't imitate style. Lead with your presence and let everything else follow. And if this reminder landed today, if you understand now that masculinity isn't just felt, it's also seen, then drop it in the comments. I wear strength because the man who knows who he is doesn't just grow a beard. He wears it like a signal, a quiet reminder to her that this is a man who doesn't need to prove anything. He already is. Seventh secret. The power of shared laughter. Let me ask you something, brother. When was the last time you made a woman really laugh? I don't mean polite laughter. Not the "you so funny" that comes after a forced chuckle. I mean that real, honest, unguarded laughter. The kind that makes her throw her head back and forget everything for a second. The kind that makes her touch your arm without thinking. The kind that drops her walls without a single word. Because here's what most men don't realize. Laughter isn't just fun. It's intimate, it's disarming. It bypasses all her filters. It skips past logic and lands right in her nervous system. You want to know the real psychology behind this. When a woman laughs with you, her body releases oxytocin, the bonding chemical. The same one she feels during touch, during intimacy, during trust. And suddenly you're not just the guy she's talking to. You're the guy she feels safe with. Guy who feels like home. Now, most men never tap into this. Why? Because they're so focused on being impressive, on saying the right thing, on being strong, stoic, mysterious, and all of that has its place. But if that's all you are, she'll feel admiration, not attraction. She'll see you as composed. But forgettable laughter is what makes you unforgettable. It's the secret sauce, the space between the tension, the moment of breath when she realizes, this man makes life feel better. But here's what matters. It's not about being a comedian. It's not about trying too hard to entertain her. It's about knowing when to relax into the moment, when to tease playfully, when to let her tease you back, when to not take yourself so seriously. That's what creates the kind of chemistry that doesn't need touch to feel electric. Let me paint a picture. You're out with her, it's quiet. The mood is low-key. You notice something, some little moment no one else would catch, and you make a dry, perfectly timed comment. Her lips curve. She tries to hold it in, fails, and now you're both laughing. That right there, that's more powerful than the best pickup line. Because that moment wasn't forced, it was yours. Shared, unscripted, real. And the beauty of it, she replayed that later. Not the words, the feeling. She won't remember the exact joke. She remember how light she felt around you. And in a world that constantly feels heavy to her, that is addictive. Now, here's what most men get wrong. They think laughter, also weakness. That if they're not serious, they lose respect. But that's backwards. The man who can be light, without losing depth, he's rare, he's dangerous. He's irresistible because he doesn't need to be on to be powerful. He knows that laughter doesn't shrink his masculinity. It enhances it. It shows that he's not threatened by the moment, that he's in control of his energy, that even in stillness, he can create joy. Let's tie this back to Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing." But he also said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. In other words, your ability to reframe life, to shift tension into ease, that's power, and laughter is that shift. It's how you lead her energy back to joy. How you teach her that masculinity doesn't always have to be heavy. That strength can smile, that stillness can spark. So, if you've been carrying the weight of always being the serious guy, if you've forgotten what it's like to just enjoy the moment with a woman without control, without performance, it's time to bring that back. Not to impress, but to reconnect with yourself first. Because the man who laughs with her, not at her, not for her, but with her, that man builds something deeper than attraction. He builds emotional memory. And if that's who you're becoming now, drop this in the comments. I lead with lightness, because the man who makes her smile is the man she wants to stay near. Not just when life is exciting, but when it's hard. Because laughter, brother, isn't just a sound, it's a signal. And when it's shared, it becomes bonding. She can't explain, but never forgets 8 secret, the power of dreams. Let's go beyond attraction for a minute. Beyond the touch, beyond the teasing, beyond the chemistry. Let's talk about something women crave but rarely know how to ask for. A man with a dream. Not just a job, not just a goal, not just a plan for next month. I'm talking about vision, direction. A man who's not just surviving, but building something. Because here's the truth. Most men overlook nothing. Pulls a woman in deeper than a man who is unapologetically walking towards something bigger than himself. It's not about money. It's not about fame. It's not even about the dream itself. It's about what that dream says about you. It says you're alive. It says you're not stagnant. It says you wake up with purpose, and that energy is contagious. You want to know what women truly find sexy. It's the man who looks her in the eye and says, I can't stay long. I've got work to do. And he means it, not because he's avoiding her, but because he refuses to lose himself in her. That's the secret. You don't win her heart by focusing on her. You win it by focusing on your part and letting her see the fire in your eyes when you talk about it. And here's why it works. Because when a woman feels your direction, when she sees that you're chasing something real, that you're not sitting still, not waiting on life to hand you anything, she respects you. She leaves.